Okay, we're back for part two here on July 28th of this futures trading video. We're long in NSE. This is just a standard NSE, so I'm only going for 4 ticks profit. We lost six ticks on a high probability NSE. Normally we try to recover everything on that next NSE, and it did that. I got not going to say greedy. I wanted to go for a full 2 points because of my long-term filter had to win short, and made 7 ticks. Was off by 1 tick. It was right there, just rated down a tick, then it just bounced up. Well, it's the way it goes. I locked in 2 ticks profit. If I can grab a point off this, I'm back to break even. You know, hindsight's 2020. We could always say, well, you should have just taken the 7 ticks, and then if this gives you 4 ticks, now you're done for the day. Very true. A lot of my students do just that. If they lose on the high probability NSE, they just go for a recovery trade and then wait for the next standard NSE, or wait for no zone to happen again and take the NSE out of no zone. But this is just a standard NSE. This is not a no zone NSE. So because of that, I'm only going to go for 4 ticks. Okay, and also I would reverse on this trade if it goes against me. So as of right now, we're down a point without counting any commissions. We lost 6 ticks. We made 2 ticks, but we could have had 6 or 7 ticks. Hindsight's 2020, and now we're going to try to make 4 ticks off this trade, get us back flush, and then try to grab between 4 and 6 ticks on the next trade, cover the commissions, and make a point profit. Now this trade could go against us as well, right? I don't win every trade. Nobody does. Anyone tells you they do, you should run for the hills. We take losing trades and we show them to you because that's part of the game. You've got to learn and accept losing trades, and you got to know, more importantly, what to do when you take losing trades. As I said, some students simply go for a recovery trade on that second trade, but I wanted to go for more because of the long-term filter. And like I said, you know, I still made a couple ticks, but I could have had the full recovery. But you can't let that get you. You've got to make a plan and deal with it. I made a decision to go for 8 ticks based on my long-term filter, and it just didn't work out. It was off a tick. Okay, so now my plan is to recover the 4 ticks off a standard NSE, get back to get back to even, and then try to make another trade and make some profit. Okay, so let's see if we can uptick here and hit 50. There we go, and we're off. So now we're even. We took a loser, we had a nice winner, and then now we're back to even. Now again, hindsight 2020, had I just recovered off that trade, I'd have been profitable for the day, where now I'm just even. Okay, so does that mean you should just run out and say, well, I'm only going to do reversals? No, you got to learn to look at that long-term filter and say, hey, trading is dynamic. You've got to look at things as they're happening. So anyways, in any case, we fully recovered from our loss. We did a NSE out of no zone, high probability trade that lost, followed by the recovery trade, then followed by a standard NSE, and now it's just a matter of waiting for one more trade to try to grab about 5 ticks off of, because I need to cover commissions. We've done 3 trades. I'm going to do 4 trades, maybe more. So if I just take 4 ticks off the next trade with commissions, not quite going to be at a point. So really want to try to find a higher probability trade that I can make 5 or 6 ticks. Okay, I could have stayed in this trade a little bit longer, right? Hindsight's 2020. If the long-term filter was long or just about going long, I could have stayed in, but it wasn't. So it's just a standard NSE. But if the long-term filter goes long, which it may or may not do, I'll then take a pullback trade. So let's go ahead and stop this video, and we'll come back for the next trade, which may be after no zone, when no zone happens.